Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. And it's Tuesday, October 18th. And we're going to do, of course, the NXT review. And this week, it is the WWE superstars that are showing up and showing out. So we've got everybody from KO to Rhea Ripley. We got Judgment Day. I mean, I'm missing somebody I know. Sonya Deville is over there, so Sasuke Nakamura. I mean, it's just a little of everybody is here. But here we go. And I'm going to start this out with talking about Booker T. Because Booker T comes out dressed like a professional. Dapper and Dan, this man is dripping. He's popping his collar. This man looks professional. A little bit of a fresh breath of fresh air, that is, from Wade Barrett. And I like Wade Barrett. I like him, but the whole night, every time somebody comes out, they go up and they shake Booker T's hand. It's a sign of respect because he's teaching in the background and he's got his own thing going on too. He's trying to put some people in the WWE himself. So, I'm sure everybody loves Booker T because Booker T's easy to love. But then we're going to go into the start of the show, which is going to be Judgment Day coming out. And it's featuring Rhea Ripley this week because she was chose by Cora Jade to face Roxanne Perez. And, of course, we'll find out later that Roxanne Perez chose Raquel Rodriguez. So the first match is going to be Rhea and Roxanne. And let's just be honest with this. Rhea is bigger, stronger, more experienced. Perez is good. She does some good times in this match, good little runs. But man, she gets slammed on her face. She gets headbutted. She gets stretched from here to there, and like when Rhea's stretching you, she's grabbing that little bit. On her case, if it was me, it'd be very easy to do. But on on Miss Perez's account, she grabs that little bit of fat and it's kind of twisting it while she's stretching her. Old school, a little old school, which I like, And as I said, she drops Roxanne, Miss Perez on her face. And Roxanne gets a couple good moves where you think, she gets her one time where you think it's about to be a head scissors kind of a flip, and then Rhea just throws her off like she's a bag of taters. And so, it's pretty much a showcase of Rhea's dominance. But Miss Perez does get a few seconds here and there. But towards the end, let's see if I can remember right, it was going to be she was going for one move, and Rhea headbutts her, goes for a pump handle slam, I believe it is. And that's after she just, like 2 minutes earlier, dropped her straight on her face. But Miss Perez is going to counter it. So she does like a bunny hop over. But when she gets over and she gets ready to turn around, before she does, who does she see? I believe she sees Mr. Mysterio. And not Ray, but Dominic is there. So, so she flips over. She's going to do one move. Rhea kind of flicks her off her back like a bunny hop off. She sees Dominic. She says, there's words. She turns around. Rhea headbutts her. And then there is the pump handle slam, and that is going to be it, folks. You get a nice smile from Rhea, and that's just the way it is. But then they go into a promo, and they've got Cameron Grimes and the original OC, because he asked them to come over, and they did. They showed up, and they're just mainly wanting to know how they're getting paid. And, of course, Cameron, he pops out a few bundles on them, So when they do that, all good. I think Gallo has a little mini stroke. Anderson is very happy with some howling. And they're all too sweet, and they're ready to go to the moon. All right, so from there, we're going to go with Tony D's here. Tony D's back on a crutch, but he's back. Tony D's back with Channing Lorenzo. Let's just put it this way. He's here with Stacks. And so, there's a little hobble down. They're going to still keeping Tony D in the storyline, which I love. And, he's like, hey, give me a little up in the ring. I'm going to tell you who your opponent is, So it's all about that. It's all about who is going to be his opponent. And they get up in the ring, a few words are said, and then Tony goes, hey, look, you ready for your opponent? You ready? You ready? Well, we'll do this right after this commercial break. He pulls a commercial break out of his butt, which I love. But when he gets back, you know who he's going to face? Well, it's the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. And, and before the match, they do a quick little promo with Grayson Waller. And he's talking about everything he did and how this is going to be this and how he blinded Apollo Crews. But then Chucky gets involved. Now, Chucky has a reoccurring role in tonight's show. And he's telling him that he's going to spin the wheel and decide the stipulations of his match at Halloween Havoc. Chucky, Grayson Waller, a coffin, some chains, some fire, and a spinning wheel. That is a promo, folks. I don't care where you're at. But anyway, we go back to Tony D and Stacks. And now he's ready to announce, here's your opponent. And then you hear the music, and it's unmistakable. Shinsuke Nakamura, the King of Strong Style, is here at NXT, and he's going to take on Stacks and show Stacks a little bit about what it's like. And they start off pretty good. Of course, Shinsuke's going to, dominate the match at the start. But, hey, Stacks isn't scared. He keeps on. Stacks is a fairly, a larger guy like Shinsuke. Shinsuke is for where he's from, the organizations he was with over in Asia, he was kind of a, not a giant, but he was a bigger guy. A lot of those guys are under 6 foot, but they're thick, and he is a well-built guy. His movement is so freaking good. He mixes the strong style and the classical wrestling. So, they start off with Stacks gets him a little bit at the first, gets a kick in and gets a couple good blows, gets him in a headlock, but you know what's coming. You know what's coming. Shinsuke takes him around the ropes here a little bit, shows him a little this, shows him a little that, and a couple knees, a big heel kick to the back of the head. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Maybe a choke by how he does his choke with one foot and then does the shake. So it's all Shinsuke getting things going, and of course Stacks is going to have his time, and he does some good. He has good little spurts in here, but man, Shinsuke is just so freaking good, man, and those kicks are just, because of those long legs. And I think they actually put him in like his outfit sometimes, or to kind of, I don't understand colors and how that would go, but there are people out there that have degrees smarter than me that says that yellow and black makes you look faster. I don't know. But, Stacks finally catches a kick and gets to drop some elbows on it and a couple good European undercuts. And, so he has a few times in this match, a few streaks, where he gets his chance. And he does a good old-fashioned knuckle buster on him, a little of everything, but we know how this is going to go, though. We know how this is going to go. Eventually, he gets caught up in the ropes. Shinsuke does his slide under the bottom rope where he kind of power bombs him off the ropes. Of course, that never gets him, but it looks really, really good. Stacks is going to try a couple more moves. Shinsuke gets him in a submission hold, an armbar, and it is what it is. He pulls him over. He gets out of that submission hold, but and he even delivers one good monster, kind of like not a clothesline, but a good forearm or whatever to the head, and gets a couple of good moves. But you know what? He misses a stomp, and Shinsuke misses a turnaround spinning back kick, but he hits him with the other leg. Then there's a big kick, and Stacks is outside the ring, and of course, Tony D's got crutches. He don't know what to do. He's seeing his boy get kind of his butt handed to him. And, Shinsuke's going to give Tony D a little look and let him know, hey, what I'm about to do. Sorry, but it's only business, baby. I got to get to the pay window. But, Stacks is telling him, come on. But that finishing move, he puts Stacks out. But for an unusual thing, you would think that Tony D would be hot. He would get on to Stacks. Because Stacks is going to end up in the corner where they can get a camera view of them two talking. And it comes out that Tony D's like letting them know, hey, I'm proud of you. You stood in there with a veteran. You did good, and you're a cornerstone in our family here, and we appreciate you. So, hey, a little different kind of a turn to that, which, hey, I like. And then they're going to go straight from that. They're going to go to Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville is coming out, and, she's going to face Alba Fyre. And Alba Fyre is got toxic attraction with her. And when they do that, they go, they bring them out and come back or whatever like that, and there's always a quick little promo. And the other quick little promo was Nathan Frazier and Axiom talking. And, Axiom's letting them know, I hope you win and all that. And then out of nowhere, Von Wagner and Mr. Stone show up, and they have some words. So, that might mean that they're going to see each other later. Who knows? But, with this match with Sonya Deville and Miss Fyre, they go back to pretty much that, Sonya, was in the crowd and in a hoodie, just going off on the hoodies. Hoodies are just really making them look bad. They got a red guy with a red hoodie they hadn't unveiled yet, too, so walking around. But anyway, last week, they pretty much Toxic puts Alba on Sonya's shoulders, and they slam her through the announcer's table. So that means a little revenge for Miss Fyre this week, and they come out, and it starts off with Sonya just really up in Miss Fyre's face, Finally, Miss Fyre shoves her back. There's a couple of miss moves. Sonya does if I remember right, a leg sweep, and then Miss Fyre jumps over it, and then she tries a kick, and Sonya misses, and then a couple of good punches, and then they're off to the races. A couple turnbuckle throws for Sonya. Miss Fyre slamming her around, and I think at one time she goes to jump up on the second rope and do a move, do her own mini version of Jeff Hardy almost, and doesn't work out. Sonya gets up, pulls her off that second rope, which causes her head to hit the turnbuckle, and that changes the match. So now Sonya's got the upper hand, and she's good when she's got the upper hand, but Miss Fyre ain't gonna give it to her too long. She had the upper hand, she just didn't have the whole hand. Miss Fyre comes back, So there's some, they're building her in, kind of like a Becky Lynch style badass, but at one point in time, Toxic actually gets in the ring and puts their hands on her. And I don't understand why that wasn't a disqualification, but it wasn't. They let her whoop on Toxic Attraction. They throw her out, which means that at one point in time, Miss Fyre turns around on Toxic, throws them both out, then turns around and does a small package and gets Sonya Deville with the pin. And then, of course, Toxic jumps on them, right after. There's a spear, I think, from Sonya, and then they all jump on her. They kind of hold her down, whoop on her a second, and hold her down, and got her own. They retrieved her own bat, and is kind of doing a edge. Got it in her mouth, pulling back, and everything. And Mandy Rose appears with the belt because they are facing each other at Halloween Havoc, and she comes out in her own Batgirl uniform, kind of outfit, looking dapper and Dan, and kind of ticks Miss Fyre off. And before she gets a chance to get into the ring, she starts slinging, throwing the girls off. She gets her bat back, hits one of Toxic Attraction, knocks the other one out, and then about that time, Mandy slides under the bottom rope with the belt and is about to hit her. Gonna catch her from the blind side. It doesn't work that way either. Alba turns around, catches her with the bat. Doesn't hit her, but kind of, puts her back and lets her know what's up. And, of course, the belt gets dropped in the process, which means Miss Fyre picks it up and lets her know she's coming for the belt. And then after that, they've got Wesley and Mensa. They're getting ready to take on Mello and Trick. And Oro and Wes are just kind of chilling, talking in the locker room. They got the stretcher, the little elastic band, doing a little exercising, and boom! Out of nowhere, you got Trick and Mello showing up, throwing down in the locker room. So you know what that's going to mean. What that means is they're going to fight all the way to the ring. Well, if they're going to fight all the way to the ring, you know what that means? Let's give them a sanctioned match, and let's have a match, folks. So we have a match between Mello and Trick with against Mensa and Wesley. And these guys tear at it, It's not old school, but they're trying. They're trying. Of course, they have to do it with a commercial break. But when they come back for a commercial break, the match is officially started. Everybody's in there. You've got Mensa and Wesley flying around, man. And I mean, they're going off the steel steps and jumping on Trick, knocking them down. Mello is doing some just moves on Wesley, buckles his knees. It's just, flying, a lot of high-flying action. At one time, Mello goes up to the top rope and drops his leg down on Wesley. And, at that time, that is the pin. So Mello wins the match. And Wesley comes up, Trick comes up in there, and, of course, Mensa comes in to help his partner. So they're all happy. Well, when they look back and see Mensa helping Wesley, they decide to jump on Mensa. So both of them start, whipping a little butt. And so they pick up, I believe it was Mensa first, and they go to do one move, and it doesn't work. And Mensa comes back on them, and, of course, causes Wesley to come back. So this is all after the match. And they both take a Trick over the top rope, and they're happy, but they forgot about Mello. So Mello jumps over the top rope, does a little spin, does his free throw, and that is the way that ends, Oh, you thought it was? No. You got Von Wagner. Von Wagner comes out, and he puts a big boot to Mello. So, all right, that's the way it ends. No. Then you got Nathan Frazier coming in from nowhere, jumping off the top rope, off the top turnbuckle, and hitting Vaughn. So, that's the way that finally does end. And then you got Schism. You got Gacy and Dyads, which is Schism. And, I'm still looking for that cream. I know that I've got some that gets rid of Schism, but they go into a little interview where they're letting, Cameron Grimes and the OC guys know that, hey, look, they respect the OC, but look, Casey's got that guy with the, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, with the bad eye, looking over his shoulder, and it was so good. And of course, they lay the camera down and walk off after their interview, but they're setting it up. All right. So let me see. After that, they go into a Braun Breaker promo where he's pretty much talking about the KO show, because KO is here with the KO show at the end of the show. So you're going to have, coming back after that, it's going to be Schism going against Cameron Grimes and the OC, Carl Anders and Luke Gallows. So it's going to be a good match. You know, if these guys are coming back, because them being brought back into the WWE was kind of a surprise to me when when they got brought back by AJ. But I'm glad to see them back. Those guys have made a ton of history and a ton of money over in Japan and all through the Orient. And I believe one of them even actually married a local lady there, so I'm sure they're probably just as home over there as they are here. But it's always good to be signed with the WWE, because your checks are going to cash for sure, and they're usually a little larger than everybody else. But this match starts out with Cameron coming out and hollering about, "We're going to the moon, baby!" And he's got the OC. They come out and they're ready to go. And of course, Schism is in the ring. So it's all about to go down. That's right. And man, in this match, there is just a plethora of things. Let me see here. At one point in time, Schism, one of the guys is getting thrown, or Dyad, that is, well, whatever you want to call it. It gets thrown into a turnbuckle. One of his partner runs over and takes the grunt, gets in between him and the turnbuckle. I love that. At one point in time, they even triple powerbomb Grimes, where they all pick him up and kind of swing him and do a powerbomb with Gacy. I mean, just some great moves in this match. But you got the OC up in there too. The OC is the OGs, kind of, and but this match, Dyad is good, man. They are good. This match is a good match. It's I would say a must see. Go back and watch it, man. Grimes always puts on a good match. OC always does. And I'm learning that Dyad can, and Schism can too. So, it's a good match. Generally, that if they're bringing OC back, and all of that, they're going to have to win. And that's pretty much the way it goes after a fantastic match that I would suggest you to go back and watch. But at the end of the match, afterwards, of course, you've got the OC going, it's time to get paid. One time, Gallows even looks like he's going to look down Grimes' trunks to find his money. Yes, and during this match, I will have to say Gacy definitely always puts on a great performance. So all of these guys, great match, a banger match, a must-see. Then after that, let me see. Oh, what do we got here? What do we got? I got to flip the page, because normally I would do a show on one page, but this one's got a lot to go on. You come back with Fyre, and he's doing his interview, and of course he's going to call out for his brother. And they want to know what he said to his brother last week to make him leave ringside. And so Sonya comes in, and Sonya says he's ready to listen. So we'll just have to see where this goes. Then you got Chance and Carter, the ladies champs. They do a quick little promo, and then they come back and they're going to sign a contract with Nakia Lyons and Zoe Stark for an upcoming match at Halloween Havoc. And they're doing this should be a good match. This really should be a good match. After that, they do a promo with Julius and DK, and of course Brutus's career is on the line, and good little promo. I like it. I hope the match is as good as everything as I think it's going to be. DK has really surprised me. Julius is good. I know they've been around each other for a while, so they should have their stuff honed together. Okay, so they announced that there's going to be a guest host for Halloween Havoc. And they're going to announce it after the commercial break. Well, let's go to... Okay, we're through the commercial break, and it ends up going to be the host is going to be a blast from the past. It's a host of a Halloween Havoc or an event in 2020, and it's going to be Shotzi. Shotzi is here, and she's going to create a balls-to-the-wall kind of place. So, and then, of course, Zion Quinn comes out, and the X Factor, and he's just letting her know, hey, I could be your co-host. It would be great. So, she doesn't say no, she doesn't say yes, but, oh, gosh. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right. So then there is Quincy Elliott. Quincy Elliott comes out, the Scream Queen. All right. And he wants to be the co-host. So, and he, Shotzi says pretty much, let's have a match and the winner gets to be my co-host. But you knew something was funny because before they go to break, Quincy is backing that ass up and Shotzi is slapping that. Okay, all right, that's enough of that. But anyway, we get through that. Quincy and Zion Quinn have a match. And, of course, Shotzi goes over to the commentator desk, and it's her first time commentating, we come to find out. So this match is okay. It's okay. Zion, I think, is ready for bigger and better things almost. And Quincy, they're trying to make him into something. But at one point in time, Zion goes out to get a chair from the outside to just take care of this, in this whole thing. And old Hank Walker... Old security Hank Walker. He just happens to be outside there, and his foot's in the chair. And Zion, of course, can't get the chair. He goes back in. Quincy gets a couple moves, puts a Rikishi kind of a butt drop on him, and wins the match. So that's going to be your co-host for Halloween Havoc. After that, we go into a quick little promo with Chase U and Thea and Bodie and everybody, and Thea's mad. She wants another match, and then, of course, Chase U is, Mr. Chase is letting everybody know that Halloween Havoc is not just your average, it's not something new. It goes all the way back to the day, and they do a little history of it, and then it comes out that Chucky is back again, and Chucky does a kind of a, let's just say it's bleeped out. Okay, let's just say it is bleeped out. So Chucky is back again on the show, like I said earlier. So, it should be pretty good. It'd be pretty good. All right, then after that, you're going to, of course, have to have Raquel Rodriguez against Cora Jade because that's the way. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. Pretty Deadly. And is it, let me see, Pretty Deadly and Blade and Inofi have their contract signing, like the girls did earlier, and it's a quick little thing at the table, although the girl champs just got up and walked away and said, yeah, whatever. But these guys didn't get in a fight. They just had a few words, cute little thing. But we go back to the match. You got Miss Rodriguez and Miss Cora Jade, and Cora is growing on me more and more. Her outside the ring annex are great. Her promos are good. I just need her to get a little bit better in the ring, and that's just going to come with time. But she does take some good bumps in this match. That is for sure. So this match is not a bad match at all. It's going to end up with the stick coming in, and when the stick gets involved, well, you know what's going to happen. Cora introduces the stick, trying to set it up for Miss Rodriguez to get, because they disqualify you for using a stick, but they don't disqualify you from when two of your partners from the outside jump in and get involved in the match. But of course, the stick is involved. Miss Rodriguez gets disqualified. Cora Jade goes under the bottom rope, gets outside, starts laughing at her, and then about that time, Roxanne comes in, slams her from behind, throws her into the ring, and gets ready to actually throw down on her with the stick that she reluctantly didn't use a few weeks ago. And, of course, Cora gets the heck on out of there and doesn't get the shot. But pretty good match at the end. Miss Rodriguez puts Roxanne up on her shoulders. Pretty much, Roxanne is the giant of the women's division. All right, let me see. From there, we are going to go over to the KO show. Yeah, the KO show. So this is going to be the whole ending, is the KO show, because I love the KO show. I love Kevin Owens. This comes out. You got JD. What do you call JD? JD, don't Google me. And you had Braun, and you had Dragunov. So they're all sitting out there. Of course, JD is on the far side, KO, and then the other two gentlemen. And Shawn Michaels' name is mentioned. That, KO lets everybody know that, hey, Shawn Michaels asked me to come in and do the KO show, and that since he was a fan from a kid, that he would, of course, do it, and he's doing it. But he said he would try to keep the excitement, the fisticuffs, down to a minimum. And so this promo goes back and forth. They all blame JD was stirring the pot. Of course, Dragunov lets everybody know that, hey, maybe I was aiming for JD, but I knew I hit you, Braun. So those two have words. And then the exciting one out of this seems to be Dragunov. He is the one fired up. Braun's letting everybody know that it's just, hey, look, man, don't get excited. It's status quo, baby. It'll be the same thing after this Saturday. I'll be champ, and y'all will be contenders. And so they eventually, Braun and Dragunov are going to have fisticuffs, of course. But before all this happens, you've got a party in the back with Brooks and Jensen and Javi the Body, and all these guys are having a drinking party back in the back. There's a girl walking on her hands. Everybody's partying. It's a drinking game with how many times they'll say, like, this Saturday or Halloween Havoc or something like that. But there was an envelope dropped off to Brooks and Jensen and the young lady, but they never disclosed it. But anyway, they go into the KO show after that, and it's good. All the guys, like I said, everything is Dragunov, and then JD, don't Google me, and Braun. And, of course, the fisticuffs do start between Dragunov and Braun, which means that JD is going to kind of just go back over in the corner and just watch. He's happy, because Dragunov was the one that just fired everybody up, like I said. And so JD is just going to chill in the corner, and there is a move put on Dragunov, and then, of course, Dragunov gets the better of Braun, which puts him on the pavement. And that's after several minutes of KO kind of, insulting JD, don't Google me. Dragunov and Braun are going at it. You expect JD to jump in at the last second because that's just the way it's set up to do. But we have a little bit of and this is all towards the end of the show, of course. There's a little bit of a twist to it at the end, because KO pretty much says, hey, look, I tried, Shawn, and he gets out of the ring. Of course, the guys go at it, and that's the way you expect JD to come jumping in at the end. Security gets involved. Security's got to get involved, so Braun's got to knock a few of them out, and, of course, that's when Dragunov hits him with his move, so you expect JD comes up and grabs him, and he's getting ready to do his move, but he gets headbutted. And then he gets that move, his finishing move again. So JD, don't Google me, is out. Braun's gasping for air like Dragunov had referenced earlier that the last time he saw him, he was standing over him while he was gasping for air, so it ends up that way again. But here's the twist. It's kind of a little old school. At the end, Austin Theory, Mr. Money in the Bank, comes out. So, although Dragunov does not pay attention, he keeps panning towards the camera, hitting himself in the head, saying he's going to win, and Austin Theory's just kind of to the side, with the briefcase, and it's all ready to go. All right, so that's how they end this show. They're all setting up, of course, for Halloween Havoc, and this Saturday, we will see how this all plays out. So there we go, guys. This is the review for this week. And I will get back, I promise, after this event extravaganza, since it's not a pay-per-view anymore, I will get back into more of the any of the questions and anything like that. I do receive them, and I do try to send back responses, so please bear with me on that. But all right, guys, this is the way we're going to end it this week with this NXT review. So always remember to spay and neuter and, rescue if you can. And I said that in the wrong order. Sorry, guys, but this is Memphis Mark with a show that I did not use an old school reference. Hey, I think it's the first one, guys. This is Memphis Mark, and you know what? I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.